and Justin were two simple Imagineers at Disneyland until they dared to ask the question,
"Hey, Justin, is Disney diverse?"
Well, Johnny, I'm not.
Oh no, we've angered the mouse!
Stormtroopers, run!
Holy crap, it's a gaggle of cookies!
Now, from undisclosed locations within the Disney park, Johnny and Justin record a podcast where they seek to answer the question, is the Disney catalog diverse?
We're doing this for the first time live on Twitch. What's up, Twitch family? Woo! Excited to be here. Look at this. We have broke out of YouTube jail, Justin. We are like in other places.
I know.
Big things in the world. We moving up here now.
Moving up. Kind of going around, like trying out some new sites and such, man. Yeah, welcome. This is kind of for us. I want to say before we jump into the review, this is kind of a throwback for me and John. When we first met doing a live stream show. Yeah. And so this is kind of like me and Johnny didn't need to be edited. We didn't need to be edited back in the day. We were doing it live, no scripts, never had a script. No. That's how it was. But then, we moved on to create Disney+Diversity, and here we are realizing we can still do this live like before, and I'm excited about it.
Exactly. The thing was, we were good at doing it live too. Somebody even say when it came to doing like live reviews, we were like the transmission. Shout out Judith. We were the transmission of that. So, we just got to hold it down and everything like that. We had to return to live because, hey, that's where we started. That's where we thrive. And here we are.
Oh no.
What?
I heard none of what you just said.
Oh, the audio cut out.
Okay, I can hear you now. This is power of live, folks. This is the power of live.
The glitchy comes in, the glitchy comes in. All you just missed me say was that we were good at it with a transmission of doing live reviews, and we back at it. Shout out Jada, King of Verses, but we'll get to that later. Okay, so on today's Disney+Diversity, y'all, so we're excited to be back. Here's the thing. We're right in November. We just had some turkey, but as you see, Justin's still in costume, and we really couldn't break away from the holiday because it just happened. So we decided to do a special Halloween review for you. And today we're reviewing Halloween Town.
Halloween Town. Criminy. I feel like when I gotta say, Johnny, Halloween Town feels like one of those movies where I'm like, that was past my generation. You know what I mean? This is another one of those Disney Channel movies that's past my generation. I was already in junior high, going to high school probably. And so for me, Halloween Town was one of those like, oh, I don't really watch Disney Channel movies anymore.
Certainly
when I talk to other folks who are, in their 20s, when I mention, oh, we're doing an episode of Halloween Town, Mike, oh, Geekish just, thank you, Geekish.
Woo, what up, Geekish? The little bit homies to Geekish.
Volume's a little quiet for both. Can you adjust, please? Okay. Thank you for that, Fulcrum. Thanks for watching, Fulcrum. Geekish, of course, is where I also do my other live stream, Nerdtastic. So yeah, no, when I bring up Halloween Town, I mention Halloween Town, I talk about Halloween Town, even as a joking reference to anyone who's a little bit younger than me. The reaction is like, oh, Halloween Town. Yeah, I get it. Like I was telling my coworker for my day job yesterday, he asked me, hey, how's your Halloween, man? I was like, I spent my day watching Halloween Town. He's like, I hear you. I feel that.
Low-key, I'm a little bit in the reverse though, because here's the thing. I was watching, because remember I've always said on this channel, I was deprived of Disney as a child.
That's right.
So when I got Disney when I was older, I was like, oh, I'm going to land here. I'm watching everything. Let's go. And so I actually remember watching Smart House, which came out like 1999, Johnny Tsunami, which came out in 1997. So I'm watching all these movies, but Halloween Town was one I just always skipped over. Because here's the thing, to be honest, I like Halloween, but when I saw the premise of Halloween Town, I was like, I don't get it. It's just a whole town of Halloween. I'm cool. And then what kind of blew me away by was that they kept making gosh damn movies.
More
There
of
was
them.
Halloween Town 1, Halloween Town 2, Halloween Town 3, Halloween Town 4, The Return of the Great Pumpkin. So there's all so think about this, they were doing all these Halloween towns. I'm just like, look, this all right, cool. And so when it's time for us to review it, I was like, it's mine as well, because like you said, it seems like it's a big phenom. Like when we got ready to start this channel and we told people we were going to review the Disney catalog of movies, Halloween Town kept coming up over and over and over again.
Yeah. We don't talk about the fourth Halloween Town. Oh, I know. I didn't even watched it, but I looked ahead to see what happened in the other ones, and I'm like, what happened to Marnie? So I'm with you. I get it. Johnny, before we start, what candy did you want, sir?
Are those full-size M&Ms?
Nah, babies.
Oh, it's big. The camera makes them look bigger.
Yeah.
I will take the peanut M&Ms, please.
Yes, sir. I'll hold on to that for you when next time I see you.
Good luck. Good luck.
I appreciate that. I'm a Kit Kat guy myself. So, producer Stacy, I know they can't hear you, but what candy do you like for Halloween? Yes, yeah, she wants to see it. She wants to see the bag. So I have Twix, Baby Ruth, Kit Kat, and some peanut M&Ms. Oh, she wants a Twix and a Kit Kat. I hear that.
Producer Stacy, good lord.
She gotta get paid, man.
Yeah.
We all, it's like a child, she gets paid in candy.
Well, she does have a 9 o'clock bedtime, as most of you know. So his thing, that's the reason why we have to wrap this up before 9 o'clock. Producer Stacy needs to be in bed. So yeah.
That's right. So what's Halloween Town about? Halloween Town is about when a young girl living with her secret witch mother learns she too is a witch. So she must help her witch grandmother save Halloween Town from evil forces. That's essentially the plot of Halloween Town 1. The Halloween Town kills. Just kidding. So my cat's controlling it. Right. So that's the plot of essentially Halloween Town. So Johnny, like, what do you want to start concerning discussions of Halloween Town?
Okay, well, I guess we got to start with the family. When we read like Marnie or the brother and everything like that, and also like a little sister and her mom. And so it's always interesting. There's the running joke that like there's no 2-parent household in Disney films. There's always a single.
Almost always.
And so like divorce is high, y'all. So think about this. And so going to this one, it was kind of cool to see like this like mom being there, because a lot of times we don't see moms. It's always like a dad. So it's kind of cool to see the mom there. Yep. But again, though, it was weird because the whole plot of the premise of it begins with the kids not being allowed to celebrate Halloween. And Marnie's just like turning 13. And she's like, look, I want to go to a Halloween party. I want to go hang with my friends, blah, blah. But her mom is also like, no, you can't do it. We don't celebrate this holiday. Which is like, damn, are they like conservative Christians? Like, what the fuck's going on? But that's the whole thing. And what's interesting is because like her little brother is the middle child, like this super nerd dude who's like, yeah, Marnie, let's go watch some nature documentaries. Halloween's bad for you anyway. You don't want to get cavities. I'm like, this bruh has no friends. He has no friends. Who is this man? Why is he like this? And you got the little sister who just wants to go out trick-or-treating, standing by the window. And so I got to give it credit. It's an interesting premise at the beginning because it kind of caught me right there. I was like, wait, why aren't they allowed to celebrate Halloween? Like, what's going on here? And obviously we know like with Disney movies, there's like some mystery here, but it opens up in a good way to catch your attention. Like, what do you think of that soul setup?
You know, it's interesting to me because it's like, why does the mom have a problem with Halloween, right? Like, you don't know quite off the bat. And side note, the mom was played by Judith, who I definitely remember from the very first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live action movie as April O'Neil.
That's what I remember her from. I was like, why does she look so familiar?
Yeah, I have her.
I feel like she needs to be at a farm right now or in a sewer,
or reporting something for Channel 6 News.
There it is.
And I have her action figure like, kind of hanging out over there on the corner.
Damn, so she's part of 2 great franchises.
That's right. That's what I was thinking. It was interesting to me is like the idea that like I was curious, like, why are you kind of weird about Halloween? You know, like, and it's very clear they're the anti-Halloween house, you know. So I was intrigued, but I was starting to get little hints, especially in the beginning of the movie where the little sister Sophie, like, all of a sudden she really wants a cookie. She really wants a cookie. She really wants a cookie, and the cookie starts floating towards her, while their mom catches it. What was that? Like the candy Kit Kat followed us? Thank you. Nice.
Oh, thank you, Kit Kat 45. Shout out. Thanks for the follow.
Thank you. Woo. Thanks for the follow. Woo! Yay.
Give me a break.
Appreciate Kit Kat. You know what? Because of that, I'm just gonna eat a Kit Kat right now.
There it is. There it is. And why you eat that Kit Kat? So, like, as Just was saying, so the cookie starts floating across, and then the mom grabs it midair, and that's when we kind of realize that the sister, the younger one, has some type of magical powers, which is like, okay, this is interesting. But just as we're seeing that happening, guess who shows up? Grandma. Who comes on this like spooky school bus that like flies through the air and everything like that, accompanied by her own magical bag. And obviously we're like, okay, Grandma's either a bootleg Mary Poppins or she's a witch. And so she shows up, comes to the house and everything like that. The kids are excited to see her. She gives them candy. They're having a blast and everything like that. But then later on, she tells them about Halloween Town and how great this place is and like all these things. And like she tries to sell like the whole premise of the movie, but Halloween Town's in trouble and needs help. And later on, at the kids to the bed, Grandma goes talks to the mom, and that's where we discovered that, oh, they come from a line of witches. And that's the whole thing of this is. The mom was originally from Halloween Town. She left to be with a human dad. And again, what happened to the dad? We don't know. We just don't know. Did he die? Did he go out for a pack of smokes? Never came back? We just don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know. But the thing about this is that, so the whole thing is that the mom wants the kids to be normal. She says, no, they don't even know about Halloween Town. They don't know about their magic powers or anything like that. And the grandmother's appearance, she's like, look, if you don't start training your daughter today, Marnie, think about she's going to lose her powers on her 13th Halloween. You got to start training her now or she'll lose her powers forever. And the mom's like, that's what I want. I want her to be normal, which kind of like caught me up as we were talking about this. Cause like for me, as I was seeing this, this is Disney+Diversity. We don't just review it, but we look for like those connections right there. But this little key kind of reminded me, and just to give me your thoughts on this, is the Immigrant Experience. It's like when you come here a lot of times from like another place, you just want to be a part of it. You just want to be able to assimilate because you don't want to stand out. You don't want to be like persecuted or anything like that. And the whole concept of witches is a way of like persecution. We see that with like the Salem witch trials and other things on those lines. So this kind of made me see parallels right there with the whole, like, again, the immigrant experience about when you come to a new place, you try to drop things, you change your name, you drop your language, you do all these different things so you can fit in and be quote unquote normal or quote unquote white. And so again, I'm not sure if the writing team was going for that, but it hit a lot of those notes for me. It was like, oh shit, there's a deeper storyline happening here. What do you think?
I mean, that's kind of a funny thing about that, Johnny. Is that like, I'm sure the writers didn't intend on that being the message, but the problem is whenever, not the problem, but like I don't think the writers really intended on that being the message, but when you do address those kind of same narratives, it is sort of, that's the story you're telling, you are telling that regardless, whether you're talking about coming from another country or you're talking about, the magical land of Halloween Town where everyone ages differently. And, but regardless, you are talking about a story where you are having a character who's leaving their homeland, maybe even possibly denying their homeland and their heritage. Even with something like this, it's going to be addressed regardless. So I don't think that's a wrong comparison or thought. Fulcrum 8108 definitely thinks that's a really good comparison. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. So yeah,
I love live streams. We get feedback in the moment.
You miss it, don't you? It's a little.
I really do. I really do.
So yeah, I do feel like that's probably, I feel that connection. I feel that that comparison for sure, 100%. So side note too, I also want to bring up the fact that again, Grandma is played by legendary actor Debbie Reynolds. And she was in this interesting period in the late 90s where Debbie Reynolds just decided, I'm going back to be in movies. Like she was performing in Vegas, if I'm not mistaken, for the longest time, and kind of got to be known to be a popular Vegas actor. And at one point she's went, I'm just gonna be in movies again. So she did this. She did an Albert Brooks movie called Mother. She got to be in and Out with Kevin Kline, directed by Frank Oz. And she just decided to do a nice little bit of, hey, I'm gonna do movies again. There you go. Good on her. And she's actually quite fun in this movie, and I think
she's dope.
She's dope. I think she's done, if I'm mistaken, I think she did almost all the Halloween Towns. So she's Grandma is a consistent cast member in these series. What else can you want to bring up?
Okay, so then after that, they leave, like, so after that, after grandma leaves, Marnie overhears the whole conversation, sees grandma used to magic. So Marnie at this point is like, no, like she always kind of like felt that she was like special in a way. So Marnie decides to go ahead and follow grandma to Halloween Town. And yes, Marnie's seeking out doing this. Guess who tags along? Her brother and her sister. So they see go on the bus, end up in Halloween Town, and that's where we get to meet like a whole like cast of characters and whatnot. We meet Calabar, who's the mayor of the Halloween Town, also the mom's like ex-boyfriend. We meet Luke, who's like a local goblin, who's like the punk working for like the big bad here. The dude who has a sister plan for Halloween Town. We meet that skeleton guy who's a cab driver.
I kind of love this. I love the skeleton guy.
Benny had jokes. Benny was delivering. But here's the thing though. So again, as we get into this, the movie starts to hit his notes. At this point, they're talking about how like this family has to go ahead and solve this problem because they're the most powerful family of witches because they're Cromwells. And so at this point, the kids are teaming up with grandma, who's going to help them like save Halloween Town. And she's also saying she's going to train Marnie about how to be a witch and train her in her powers and everything like that, which is cool. So that's how they begin this, like the whole journey goes into it and whatnot. Eventually the mom shows up and then they like team up and they start all trying to solve the problem together. Okay, now again, now that we see this is going about and everything like that and the whole story's run along, now this place we got to be a little bit critical at, because here's the thing. One, I will praise it for this though. I understand why this movie was so popular now, because the thing about it is though, it is a strong female-led vehicle. Yeah. It passes the Bechdel test times 10. Because throughout the whole film, we have strong women interacting with each other, having conversations about themselves, their own goals and ambitions. Not only that though, but Marnie's our main character. And like as I was watching this, it really reminded me of Xenon in a lot of ways, because you have this 13-year-old girl who's coming of age, who's trying to figure herself out, but this is more magic fantasy based, whereas opposed to Xenon is more like science fiction and everything.
No, I think that's sort of the cool thing that's in the air with this, and like it does make sense you bring up the Xenon comparison. And like Marty takes charge. Marnie knows what she wants and how she wants to accomplish her goals and exactly what kind of future she wants, which I think is really cool. But at the same time, there is a sort of cool kind of family empowerment thing. The whole family does. It's not just Marnie who has, some connection to the Halloween Town family and the powers. We start noticing that everyone does. I'm curious though, Johnny, how are we feeling about Dylan?
Dylan, the brother?
Yeah. How are we feeling with Dylan Piper?
I mean, I get Dylan's role. He's meant to be the annoying little brother, but he's just also becomes less the annoyance for the film itself in a way. Because he's in denial about the magic and everything. He's always just like, why do we have to do this? And it's like, fam, you just literally saw like a giant goblin fly through the air. Like at some point, wake up, magic's freaking real.
Right.
So he after a while his whole stick becomes annoying, and I would like to see like him start to grow in some way. But yeah, Dylan becomes annoying. What you think of the little sister?
The little sister, you know what? Like it's so funny. Dylan took all the annoying. Like Dylan, like wholesale just took all the annoying, which meant Sophie, the little sister, didn't get to be very annoying. Because I think with she actually, if at all, honestly, I didn't have a problem with her. I kind of like, while Marnie so wants this so bad, I like that for Sophie, it's natural to her, the magic ability. I think that's kind of cool. I think that is something where I realize like, that's kind of neat. Marnie is like trying really, really hard, but also keeping in mind she's 13. She hasn't really got a chance to really flex her magic skills. But Sophie is just, doing it by instinct. And I think that's kind of a cool kind of comparison between the two.
Yeah, in a way, if you had to do like comparison contrast, it'd be like Sophie's kind of like Michael Jordan and Marnie's kind of like LeBron James. Trying to be like 23, but just ain't got that natural talent. Sorry. I'll call it like I see it. Lakers ain't going to the playoffs, but I digress. Dustin, you were saying.
You found a way to bring back the LeBron, and it's great.
Always. I can't. Sorry, go see our Space Jam review. If I ain't hearing LeBron James, I ain't breathing. But anyway, but I agree with you, and I think that's the cool thing about it too, though, is because that's what made Sophie low-key my favorite character.
Yeah. Interesting.
Okay. Personality to her, and like you said, it was also because she just came to her so naturally. Like there's that point in the movie where Marnie's trying to remember the spell, and Dylan's like, "Why can't you remember a stupid spell?" And blah blah blah. I'm like, "Fam, I can't remember the spell," and I just started watching this. Like, come on, no. Like, but the thing about it is that that's what Sophie just starts reciting. Like, that's low key, as she's doing. I'm like, is that Parseltongue? Is that Parseltongue right here? Well, that's a different thing. Shout out Slither in the house right there. But the cool thing about it is that she has those moments like that with dearer to the viewer. Now, one thing I will talk about though that kind of like disappointed because while I say this is a strong feminist film, it's super dope to see all these women like these powerful roles from the grandma to the mom to Marnie, Sophie. It's dope as heck. Where's the diversity at though in other areas though? Like that was the thing that kind of let me down here because again, it's pretty much like all like white. And there's not really that many people of color. You got people of color spread like in their background characters, but no one's actually playing a role. And as I'm watching this, I'm like, there's ample ways you could have done this. Like the one character I think you could put a person of color like super easy is Calabar.
Yeah, sure.
I'm like, you could have made that dude black, could have made him Asian, could have made him Latino, like anything you wanted to be. And then bam, we have a person of diversity right here on the screen. Yeah. Luke as well. Luke could have been a person of color. Goblins can be black. Goblins can be green. Yeah. Goblins can be Asian. Goblins can be brown. They can be a lot of different things. So that's another like missed opportunity right there. Right. So that's the one thing I was kind of critical for. They're kind of disappointed in was that like there's not much racial diversity on this time period.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
It's also the late 90s where we like you got shows like Martin, Living Single, New York Undercover, In Living Color, Living Single. So many dope shows out there that show you that oh no, people of color can make money. It's like why didn't y'all do some diversity here?
No, and that's kind of a general. That ironically is also the same problem that it shares with Xenon. The exact same problem, honestly, is one of those questions of that, and that's why we big Johnny Tsunami stands in this house.
Exactly. But do remember though, Xenon did try to make up for because remember they had Raven Simone in that first one joint, and they had the little black boy who's gonna be future Barack Obama, who's like super smart in math. I remember him. I remember that brother. That brother knew how to count. I remember that. But no, when we get here though, it's not even we get background characters. It's just like it's left out like it's such a high degree, and that's the reason why like I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah, now, I get colored demons. That's about it. Like that is it.
We get a Frankenstein, but we can't get a brother. Okay.
No, I know, man.
Well, Frankensteins are on black people. Okay.
We got a dude that looks like a gremlin, but not an Asian cast member in this thing. Exactly, I get it. How'd you feel about the story here though? Because I want to hear your thoughts on this. Because again, as we do this, a lot of times we're impressed by the story. Johnny Tsunami, delicacy, shocking,
freaking amazing,
shocking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Xenon, hilarious, amazing, fun, outstanding. Can't wait to get the Smart House. How'd you feel about this one, Jess? How'd you feel about the story here?
I think the story is not bad. It's fine. I kind of caught wind ahead of some of the big plot twists. I have not seen this movie before. So, I'll admit, spoilers if you haven't seen it, but I'm going to go ahead and some spoilers. When grandma is like talking to Caliban and she's like, it's like, we must investigate this thing, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yes, I didn't know that was happening. You know what? It's Caliban, isn't it? He's the bad guy, right?
The moment he shows up, he's supposed to be the cool mayor. He's giving out candy and whatnot. Remember, Sophie's like, here's a lollipop. So he's like, nah, I'm cool. I'm like, oh, Sophie didn't want that lollipop. Can't be trusting lollipops from strangers. Sophie, this dude ain't no good. Then every time he showed up, he kept calling Sophie Soapy and all these other names and everything like that. I was like, he's got these digs going at her and whatnot. And all that though, but when the mom showed back up in town, he immediately was like, oh, what's up, baby girl? You want to go on this cruise? You see I'm the mayor now? See I'm balling out of control?
Yeah.
Oh, those your kids? Screw them kids. I was like, wait, what? What's going on now? Like, who moves that fast on somebody? So
absolutely.
Mayor Caliban gave me a lot of bad vibes, so that was kind of obvious.
Red flags. Lots of red flags. Yeah. Hey, Jezzer. I see Jezzer's here.
What up, Jez? Brother from another. What's up, Jez?
What up, dude?
But also, I kind of feel like, again, story-wise, Luke's whole arc, I feel, was kind of dropped the ball. Because with Luke, they try to set him up as this villain to be redeemable. Because halfway through the film, he feels regret about what he's doing. But they never explain why he feels regret for it. Like, he got what he wanted. The thing about this was that he wanted to go from, like, being an ugly goblin to, like, a handsome dude. He got that. But then suddenly he feels regret. It's like, what's causing you to feel this regret? Like, you in the moment here, homie. Like, why would you feel regret right now? I feel like that was, like, kind of poor storytelling right there. I feel like you could have given Luke a better arc.
I agree. I think Luke as a character message is the one that does kind of age kind of poorly. And it's one of those things where I feel like if written today, the change would be subtle, but there would be a change. And it's especially with the end where Luke, now full goblin, is like telling Marnie, he's like, oh, I was about ready to ask you out, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, but sadly I look ugly. And she's like, oh, that's okay. No, we don't say that now. You know, we got to accept people's beauty and inner beauty. I mean, we accept people's, no matter how they look. And like, that's the message we do now. You know, we don't need this like, oh, well, I mean, it's okay. You look like a piece of shit now. We don't do that. You know, no, we don't do that. Luke did the right thing at the end. He did the right thing at the end, you know, and to kind of just do a half, oh, I mean, that's cool that you're ugly now. No, not into that. Wasn't into that. But I get it, you know, like people weren't thinking like that in 1997, 1998 when they made that. So it's a lesson that had to be learned until a little bit later. Or more people weren't thinking it than they should. You know what I mean?
Because I don't want to slide too much though, because again, I give a lot of credit to like Johnny Tsunami, a lot of the stuff that we reviewed on this channel, a lot of the shows they were making at that time period, like a lot of the TV shows they were making, were touching on some of this stuff pretty well. It just felt like here they just kind of dropped the ball. I think because they were just juggling too much here, because they're trying to do the whole arc of Marnie like figuring out who she is, trying to do the arc of like solving the big bad, you get the arc of the family and everything like that, of them trying to like, the mom said we don't want to go to Halloween Town, which is like this whole thing from the Immigrant Experience almost. So I just felt like the writers were juggling too much, that they let some things fall through the cracks that you could like did more justice to. Right. And you were focused on other things like, hey y'all, let's go let's fly a Rubbermaid broom around town for some reason.
I want to bring this up before we go into the next point, but really quick, Fulcrum actually brought up a really fun fact about Halloween Town, and I do think this is really neat. Halloween Town was co-written by John Coxey and Ellie Marie Matheson, who were also the showrunners for the first 2 seasons of Disney Channel's So Weird.
Oh, interesting.
So Weird is a show that I definitely, someone's asked, more than one person has asked if we will cover So Weird. And
if it's on Disney Plus, we'll get to it.
And it's season 1 and 2 are on there, and I feel like producer Stacy said, "Do it."
Said, "Do it,
do it." I feel like I feel like it's gonna happen. Trust me. Maybe next Halloween or sooner. We'll see.
Okay. So as we get ready to wrap up here and go to our ratings here, so I guess let's jump into it. So here's the thing, everybody. Here at Disney+Diversity, when we watch a film, we rank it as 3 categories. Either woke means diverse, inclusive, and great. Waking means like it's doing a good job, but makes some critical mistakes here and there. Or sleep as shit, which means this movie is problematic and you shouldn't watch this. Okay, so those are our 3 categories. We're gonna rank this one right now. We're gonna take 30 seconds. We're gonna write down our rankings, and we're gonna put that show to the screen in 1 moment.
Wow, this is actually interesting. Normally we would just cut the show.
We would again. This is the thing about doing it live. Like
now we have to actually
have it with us now.
Like,
so I have to run to go get my marker and my board real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay, go. While Johnny gets his marker and pen, I legitimately don't know where my pad is, so I have to grab this freebie notebook. This is how out of practice we are doing our show, and this is also kind of a first time doing this live. So Johnny, we have an actual chat now, so this is actually kind of hilarious.
Jasper, like, get it together.
Get it together. Anyways, if you're in the chat right now and you're watching us, please get your answers ready. Don't say it. Don't write it down yet. Don't tell us in the chat yet, but start thinking about your answers, and we're curious to know. And hopefully, you guys will join us once we announce our answer. But, gosh, Johnny, I feel out of practice. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm just relearning how to walk.
I know it's been a minute, y'all. It's been a minute since we've been back, but it feels good to be here, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, so we'll review our rankings to the screen on 3. So just remember, we rank these either as woke, means diverse, inclusive, and it's great, outstanding. Waking means like it's making some mistakes here and there, but it's on the right path. Or sleep as shit was like, damn, y'all, this is worse than Jim Crow. Okay.
Here we go. All right, ready.
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Waking.
Waking. Nice. I put Waking. I put Halloween Town. I got Marnie on a little broom flying around up there.
Oh,
And I got there's more goblins than minorities in this movie. Like, I gotta be real. Where's Halloween Town located at? Is it in the OC? Like, where's it located at?
That is. No people. And if we're talking, and like where is it? Like what, in Costa Mesa part of Halloween Town? Where were we at? That's
exactly.
That's a deep Southern California joke, folks.
Exactly. It's Halloween Town, like deep South Mississippi. Like, is that where it's at? Like, where is this place?
Oh my goodness. I kind of want that on a shirt.
Halloween Town, Tennessee.
Johnny, explain why you gave it.
Okay, so one, I'm giving it Waking because one, it does pass the Bechdel test. Like, the thing about this is a strong female-led movie, which is super dope to see. Marnie's a dope character. She has her own arc. Nothing's dependent upon a guy. Luke doesn't really even save the day. He helps out, but they're their own heroes here. So that's the cool thing about it. It's a lot of female empowerment. And when I saw this, I understood why it caught on so much, because even with the storytelling problems we like pointed out, the overall greater message of us having these females here, like we're doing this, is super important, because again, there's not many films out there doing that during this time period. So I understand now why it resonates so much with people. It's kind of like Xenon in a way. It's like when Disney did these female-led driven vehicle movies, they caught on because there wasn't so much of them. So people like gravitate to anything they could. So I get why it has the cult following that it does now.
Yeah.
My critique of it though is, again, probably why I didn't relate to it, is because there's no people of color in this bad boy. Like, think about this though, like, how did, for example, let's say you take out Luke, replace Duke with the famous Jet Jackson, who's around during this time. I probably like, who's that brother over there dressed as a goblin? Man, let me go watch this movie real quick. So again, I probably would have shown up for that. Or if they got the homie from Johnny Tsunami to come and do this bad boy, because that brother only got like 2 movies, could have gave him some more work. But again, those are opportunities right there for people of color where you diversify the cast, and then guess what? You're doing more storytelling and you're appealing to more audiences. But this is something they didn't realize during this time period, which they have to learn later on. So that's why I give it Waking. It's not terrible. However, it did some cool things there. And I would like, if I had a daughter, I'd be like, yo, check this out. Hopefully you like it.
I feel the same way, basically, Johnny, honestly. And it's one of those things where it's like, here's the thing, like, being real. Like, when I saw Xenon, for the first time, I got to the end. I'm like, hey, you know what? I get it. I get why kids really got into it, and why that movie meant a lot to them. When I saw Johnny Tsunami, even more so, to a point where I actually liked that movie. For a Disney Channel vibe. You know what I mean? And this one, though, I did feel like I get it. I don't think I love it as much for those reasons you've talked about, and I do feel like this is now a case of, look, I'm in my 30s. I can't, even though I eat candy and I'm dressed up like Shang-Chi from Marvel Comics. Like it doesn't really hit me the same way as watching other Disney Channel movies that clearly worked on me. And on top of all the other factors, like, yeah, I kind of wish it did a little better job of its own message, even, if the message is, oh, I'm an ugly goblin, but I try to, cheat who I am by looking like a handsome person. But I'm an ugly goblin now. Well, then the message is, you didn't have to worry about that. You're a good person. No, it doesn't matter who you look like, No,
and I agree with you. Then the whole connection made to the immigrant experience that we talked about at the beginning of the film. That's something that, again, like, if you had a person of color, like on the writing staff or as a director, they could have explored more and gone more deeper into. They could have made for a deeper film where Marnie's like, she goes like, we shouldn't have to hide who we are. We should be proud of who we are. Right, There's no such thing as normal. This is our normal, and we need to be proud of that. But again, those are better storytelling elements in that you could put in there and give better themes to this film. So now I agree with you. I think that's part of the reason too, was be honest with you, that again, when we give our rankings, it's not about how much we like the film, but it's again, that's part of the reason why I didn't enjoy this film as much, because the storytelling elements of it and the writing of it just kind of suffered in some places.
Yeah, agreed. And a little muddied than what it wants to be. So,
not really muddy, because muddy has color. Muddy has brown in it. That wasn't really muddy. It was snowy. It was snowy as hell. Snowy. That's what it was. Snowy.
Oh my goodness. All right. Oh, and Fulcrum also ranked it as Waking.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Nice.
Now here's the thing. We normally don't have a live person while we do this. So, Fulcrum, if you want to write really quick, why did you rank it as Waking while we wrap things up? please do so in the chat. Thank you. By the way, Fulcrum,
if anybody else wants to drive through rankings down there, please drop in the chat as well.
please drop in the chat. By the way, Fulcrum,
oh my gosh, I love doing this live. Oh my gosh, this was the right call.
Fulcrum, by the way, thank you so much. You were here right in the beginning of our stream, and you stuck through and contributed throughout the entire show. This is our first stream. We were a little nervous about if anyone was going to be here to interact with us. So thank you so much for being our very first live stream viewer and supporter. So thank you so much. We do appreciate it. Nice.
Nice. Thanks for following. We heard you follow us about a week ago. Welcome from producer Stacy. Good luck. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. I wonder if we know Fulcrum. Like, we don't know them by their name.
But as we get to wrap up, so everybody, so again, thank you for tuning into this first episode. We'll be back on a bi-weekly basis.
Yep.
So look for us in 2 weeks.
And I'll read their reasoning. Not enough BIPOC folks, but I'm mad respect for the women kicking butt. You know what? Totally fair. 100% fair. 100% fair. All right, Johnny, go ahead and repeat that what you said earlier.
Oh, I was gonna say, so again, thank y'all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. And just as a quick note, we will be doing this on a bi-weekly basis. So you'll see us in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we'll be reviewing something we should have reviewed a while ago, but we're finally getting to. We'll be reviewing Shang-Chi. So make sure you're here for that.
I guess I'm wearing the jacket again. Another week. 2 weeks. It's okay.
But and then after that, though, our new rule will be like we're only reviewing stuff that's like on Disney+. So that going forward, we'll be doing that from now on.
Yeah.
But as always, let us know if there's something that you want us to review. Thank you for tuning in. As always, you'll still be able to find us on YouTube and on our podcast as well. So you can still probably listen to this there.
Okay. You wrapped up everything. Johnny, we're gonna have to go. So for reals. Thank you so much, everyone.